Bigbossjock, part 28 of the reading, book of poems. Tick-tock, situation is about to go off. Bigbossjock radio show, airing live on the mighty 750 kilohertz AM. Bienvenido al programa. Soy el locutor, el gran jefe. Al intro a mí se encuentra nuestro único Dios. Él me ayuda a hacer esa rima. Por mi parte, yo doy gracias a nuestro único Dios. Siguiendo con parte 28 de la leída, el libro de poesía, Tick-tock, situation is about to go off. Dave Gassman. Receive that last name. Understand, readers, the humor. Germany, during World War II, Dave rode around in the gas van, used to ride with the gas man, sometimes even got a drive. Been a child in them times. Dave's father is a former Nazi General Rommel. Is the former Nazi General Rommel. Father with his mother never wedded. Relationship been incest. Dave's mother is a Gellin. Don't know the history, how Bruners are related to Gellins, but I know that we are. DNA, father side, am a Bruner. That's an I. Me, a Bruner. Dave with I share the same DNA. Similar. Dave is a DIA agent. And at the DIA, beware, readers, or you're a listener, they knew when they placed Dave who his father was. If you were able to unseal the archive and go look at the files, but because of, for your own safety, protection, your security, you public, you're denied this information. Wow. Dave is a DIA agent with a psychiatry degree. His career has been centered around me. He lives at, doesn't matter, I won't give out that. Earl Hawkins owned all the land, including the other houses located beside the residency of Dave. Also, where now is owned by Bob Bush Arden, the second cousin to Junior, the nephew of Senior. Dave often puts on the disguise, takes on the identities of Malford. Buford's played by another. His name's Dugan Barr. Specifically, Ralph Buford. Really? Does Dave put on his Ralph? That's right. Is that Dirk's brother? That's right. He has a brother named Ralph? That's not. He's Ralph Malford. This is one I was trying to remember. Dave puts on, look at the Fords, took over Earl Hawkins estate markers, many of them. There's Malford, Buford, Rutherford. Gassman puts on a disguise, often takes on the part of Malford, Ralph Malford. Barr puts on the disguise and took on the identity of Buford, Dirk Buford. He's no longer here. And now who plays the part of that ranch is Greg Marshall, class of 88, Shasta High School. Now he holds that marker that was once held by Dirk. Since I gave out Gassman's real identity, and he's Dave, Dugan, he's a Hitler. That's his bloodline. Dugan Barr is a Hitler, along with hundreds of millions earned as being a lawyer. He puts on the disguise, takes on the part of Dirk Buford. Dugan Barr, Hitler, he with I share similar DNA. Hitler's with Brunner's. Related are those bloodlines. Garage, left-hand side, end of Dugan Bar Street, across from Dugan's residency. Garage, stores on display, various pieces of stolen art. One is a missing Monet heist they sent me to pull off from a known London gallery, and I have a warrant with the yard for that one. $78 million works of art. The Monet, I believe, was $48 million. Biggest heist at that time. Been in the 90s. Curtis Parsons, waited in the van. That's a Delta member. Gamma Ray sexually abused, then sent me in. Dugan has various works. Nazi paintings from during World War II. Monet, been reported. On display was noted. Jotted down the year. Noted the torn ear. Knew how got there. Later, on his own, this witness reported to the Reading police just what he had seen. U.S. national security, everything then sealed. Stafford Ranch. Stafford is another Ford. That's an Earl Hawkins estate marker. Guthrie Tire, South Market Street, Jeans Burgers, all the way to Trussell, both sides of the street, owned by Earl Hawkins Estate, from Clear Creek all the way to the park, and for the other side of the street, all the way, I believe it was to the post office and a little beyond. That's right. Earl Hawkins invested a large sum of money into this town. Chris Rutherford, 1985 till as of now, took $1 billion, that's with a B, dollars worth, Earl Hawkins estate markers. He currently owns all the apartment complexes surrounding my residency. I give the various addresses. He holds the deeds on 20 houses on Dove Street, Newport Street. He owns all the houses other than one. On Weldon Street, he owns the mortgage company that did the loans, I heard, on every house except for one. As I mentioned before, U.S. federal identities have every house on these various mentioned streets. Gretchen Brunner Bosner from Vienna, Austria. Hi, Gretchen. Last time I saw Gretchen was a while ago. Resides, though, in Munich, Germany. 14, she'd been on a Sonic. Planes from the U.S. government. Yankee Sam, they don't only belong. Nazi bloodlines with the MK Ultra program. Brunner's with the Nazi others. 2013, as with 14, flew on the Sonics often, traveled to Iquitos. Gretchen with I, baby we have with our DNA. Last time I consciously saw Gretchen, been when I met her once. Traveled together aboard buses. We rode some buses together back in the day. Been a while. 90s. 92. Traveled to Costa Rica, from there to Nicaragua, then on to El Salvador. She'd been with a Brit. His father been MI6. He redheaded, also is thin. He is redheaded, also thin, thinking about things. 13 in the Plaza de Armas, Iquitos, Peru. He'd been at her side. They must have stayed together. 92, while in Managua, gamma rayed at the hostel, all in the same room. Britt sexually assaulted me, participated, did Gretchen. Then she took her turn having sex. Didn't want him involved. The assault was sexual, but then she decided to take her turn at having sex. Didn't want him involved. Asked him to leave the room. When we were through, she donned a crime family hat. Explained to me about that. Been about time when he came back. I didn't want to put on the hat. Meant that I didn't get her the catch. Been many Nazi families. 13 to 14, flew on the Sonics, traveled to Iquitos, Peru, participated in the abuses. Oftentimes, they used German hoods. Delinquents who arrived had themselves a good time. Gamma raid sexually assaulted me. Often took place in the streets. Something Yankee Sam referred to as public floggings. And, well, the Nazis, they went right along with the same theme. 1973, BMW Malaga Red, car that I purchased in 08. 2002, that model. A Roundy, 1973. Spent that year, 08, on the car working, stitching in panels, repaired all the rot. 08, Shasta JC, college employee, assistant in the heavy equipment operator class. Chris Rutherford, another Manson cult member, tattoos he has on his hand. That's the same Rutherford I was referring to earlier. 70s, been arrested with cocaine, had picked up an underager, been solicited by him. Once arrested, he rolled, then became a CIA agent. Lives off of Old Oregon Trail, where he lives as an Earl Hawkins estate marker. Been, I believe, 17 acres back in the day. He was allowed to split those acres, sell each lot off for $500,000 every half acre. Earl Hawkins estate marker. And the tattoos, same, all of them. Hands, feet, whether his are on the hands or the feet, go ahead and inspect them. Belly button opening also. 1973 BMW, 2002. That's on all the Manson cult members. 2002 are rare. Original Malaga Red, even rarer. Registered to Chris Rutherford, Old Oregon Trail. If investigators look up the paperwork, car's previous owner, I never registered the vehicle. Car's previous owner, been the bloodline of the Shah of Iran. He also is part of my program. Been part of the abuses since shortly after the fall of the Shah. 1985, owned a video store, U.S. Federal Witness Program. Business been on Pine Street, located next door, where is now located. Opened is a car detailing business. He, the Iranian, Shah's bloodline, had the video store. Been open for 2 years. Back in 85, 86. It might have been 84, 85. South Market Street, Redding, California. As I mentioned before, everything from the park, Gene's Burgers, to Clear Creek on that side of the street belongs to Earl Hawkins' estate. South Market Street, there's a Les Schwab. It's owned by Hawkins. Well, the whole chain of Les Schwab is owned by Hawkins, and every one of those properties, along with the buildings, Earl Hawkins estate markers. As many had existing structures that were turned into another of the outlets for tires, and others were destroyed to build the tire stores. Earl Hawkins estate markers, Redding, deceased Dr. Hankin, unnecessarily extracted a tendon from my second to largest toe. If I ever were to get diabetes, would mean almost certain amputation. Only done in severe situations where the person is unable to function, live their lives normally. It wasn't my situation, not even close. Gamma ray, then sexually abused. He encouraged me what to do. Had me sign a document. Since 1984, been an emancipated minor. I have. Since the funeral of Earl Hawkins. Participated, did Dr. Hankin. His bloodline holds the markers, because now deceased, I believe, is Dr. Hankin. He'd been at the Plaza de Armas, Iquitos, Peru, Christmas Eve of 13, along with April 1st of 14. Hankin been a participant at both. Wore his crime family hat, told me I was in trouble, soon be needing that amputation. Should get looked at without hesitation. Dr. Hankin was skull with bones, travels does in the bloodline. 1975, April, been springtime. Union City, Paula with John lived. Me, I frequented, also resided more time. 1973 to 1975 in Vietnam. Frequently was on a transporter. Cargo hold where the animals flew. All the same for me, that's what they said. Whether I slept in Saigon or been in Union City, if I was on the flight meant I had got some shut-eye. Needed to fly so people would see me. Union City attended Montessori. Private school, went to once a week, flew every week to Vietnam, then back again for more. Went to school some, but not very much. Flew 3 to 4 times a month aboard the transporters to Vietnam. It's an intel story. Gonna do it on the next segment. Bigbossjock, right here inside of me, is our one only God. He helps me do this rhyme. I do give my thanks to our Allah, Father in heaven, our one only God. Signing off. Soy el locutor, el gran jefe. Al entro a mí se encuentra nuestro único Dios. Él me ayuda a hacer esa rima. Por mi parte, yo doy gracias a nuestro único Dios por un breve momento firmando fuera.